How you doing, folks? Daryl Prell here from Vanilla Soft. It's time for another episode of Enough Bad Advice. Hashtag Enough Bad Advice. I want to hear your bad advice. Put it in the comments. Every single episode, we pick one thing we hear people say, people live by, people swear by, advice they've been given, and we debunk it because that's just the way we do that. So who's doing the debunking? It's not me. I just look pretty. The rock star behind this whole secret success is Michael Padone of SalesBuzz. Michael, this thing I've heard over and over again. It doesn't matter, it seems what year it is, what decade it is. It seems to be something I hear, but it is more prolific these days, which is, it is harder than ever to make cold calls. I can't do cold calls. I'll do email, I'll do social. Buddy, it's harder than ever to make cold calls. Over to you.
Wow. You know, I saw an article the other day. It started like that, and it said, it's harder than ever to make cold calls now. And I'm like, the person that wrote that obviously probably never picked up the phone, to be honest with you, right? It's probably an intern or a content writer or whatever. But if they have, harder compared to what? Harder than 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago? You have the internet right now. First of all, they probably don't even know what the definition of a cold call is. So the definition of a cold call, let's just set the record straight, is contacting any prospect that is not currently raising their hand. So for all of the people that say, hey, you shouldn't make cold calls, you should social sell only, and you could look up and research about them and learn about them before you contact them and send them a message through LinkedIn. Listen, we all get those spam LinkedIn things. People are trying to sell us through LinkedIn in our inbox, right? They're making the same mistakes in cold calling through the LinkedIn social that they would have on the phone. With that being said, in my day, when I first started cold calling, it was, hey, there's the phone book, pick it up. Everybody would start with the A's. I actually started with the M's because everybody quit by the time they got through the C, D's, or E's, right? So I didn't want to keep calling the same people over and over again. But yeah, I would get the phone book, start in the middle. Nobody ever makes it that way. And then you have to cold call out of that. No research. There was no internet back then. But today, my goodness, you could build quality lists for virtually free or very little money, and you could do a little bit of research and make sure that the people that you are going to be reaching out to are still there, right? You ever cold call somebody and they say, hey, that person hasn't worked here in 12 years? That shouldn't happen because I do use tools like LinkedIn and things of that nature, but it just makes it easier and easier right now. So it really, to say that cold calling is harder, it's easier than ever, and it keeps getting easier and easier. You just have to know how to use the tools the right way and then sharpen your sales skills, and you should be making a lot of money when the low-hanging fruit's not there, and then when things are really good, right? Right now we're in this weird thing with the coronavirus and everybody's like panicking, but if you really have good sales skills, you could be cold calling and still finding out the people that are buying. But guess what? When the economy comes back and you have those same sales skills and the low-hanging fruit starts growing on the bottom, then you're really going to make a lot more money. But to say that it's harder than ever is crazy to me.
All right, so if you're finding cold calling to be hard, difficult, challenging, outright impossible, chances are, according to Michael, you're just doing it wrong. You've never had more resources available to you. And you know who can tell you that, who can coach you through that process? Michael Padone, SalesBuzz, salesbuzz.com. Maybe what tool you should be using to do those cold calls on? Vanilla Soft, vanillasoft.com, the industry's best sales engagement platform. That's another episode of Enough Bad Advice. My name is Daryl Prell. He's Michael Padone. We'll talk to you soon.